The galaxy was tense in a way that could be felt across light years, even in systems far removed from the Sol sector. Rumors of Earth's imminent destruction traveled faster than any conventional communications could manage, whispered across subspace channels, intercepted by fleets, and repeated in council chambers with a mix of arrogance and disbelief. Alien empires, confident in their superiority and eager to demonstrate their might, had aligned for one common goal: the eradication of humanity. These empires had spent decades cataloging every human outpost, every orbital station, every fleet capable of interstellar travel. Analysts had compiled exhaustive reports, citing that the humans lacked sufficient firepower, technology, and organization to resist even a fraction of the incoming armadas. The reports were thorough, meticulous, and unanimous: Earth would fall. In the council halls of the core worlds, presentations displayed simulations that left no room for doubt. Every map, every trajectory, every contingency indicated that humanity would be annihilated within a single campaign. Entire species, long dismissed humanity as weak, pitiful, and insignificant. They had underestimated humans before, dismissing exploratory ships, mining stations, and research colonies as trivial. They had mocked the blue planet as a backwater, its species primitive compared to advanced interstellar civilizations. And now, they planned to complete their judgment. But what the galaxy did not know, what every intelligence report failed to capture, was the patience and foresight of the Terrans. Earth had grown, not in showy, aggressive expansion, but in quiet, deliberate preparation. Across the planet, cities pulsed with life, oblivious to the panic in distant systems. Satellites tracked trajectories with precision, yet they were more than mere observation devices. They were active components of a complex web of defense woven over decades. Hidden in orbit were colossal warships, dormant yet bristling with weapons and defenses far beyond the understanding of the empires that now plotted humanity's demise. Communication arrays extended subtly beyond known subspace frequencies, enabling instantaneous coordination across distances that would normally take hours to traverse. Below the surface, research stations ran simulations not just for defense, but for strategic dominance, integrating technologies derived from reverse-engineered alien probes, long-range predictive algorithms, and AI capable of extrapolating every conceivable enemy action. And yet, from the perspective of the approaching fleets, nothing betrayed Earth's true strength. To the alien observers, the planet remained peaceful, ordinary, unsuspecting. The humans seemed calm, passive, almost vulnerable, exactly what the invaders expected. Fleet commanders leaned on their consoles with confidence, reviewing strategy after strategy, believing that every human response could be predicted, contained, or destroyed. But the silence of Earth was deceptive. It was the quiet of a predator waiting, the patience of a species that understood the value of timing and precision. On board the alien command vessels, excitement and hubris intermingled. Officers prepared to issue final orders, convinced that they were moments away from rewriting the history of the galaxy with the extinction of a minor species. Their confidence was palpable and their underestimation absolute. They had no reason to suspect that the humans they dismissed as insignificant had prepared for this, that the so-called weak species had anticipated every strategy, every maneuver, and every contingency that the Armada could deploy. Humanity's silence, a calm almost unsettling in its perfection, was a weapon in itself. For decades, human scientists and strategists had simulated invasions, cataloging enemy tactics, and predicting outcomes based on every known variable. Now, the culmination of generations of preparation hung in the balance. Even as alien fleets arranged themselves in formation, their weapons charged and aimed at the planet, humanity's calm held the true weight of power. For the Terrans, it was not panic that ruled, but calculation. Not fear, but confidence. They had been underestimated, yes, but history had taught them the value of patience, foresight, and precision. As the Armada approached, as the alien councils debated over the final moments before attack, Earth remained calm, serene, and unassuming. A planet of oceans and forests, cities glittering like scattered stars across continents, seemingly unaware that their destruction had been decreed. Yet beneath that ordinary appearance lay an intricate network of preparation, a readiness that no simulation, no report, no arrogant estimate from alien analysts could have anticipated. The galaxy was poised on the edge of a knife. In the coming moments, all that preparation, patience, and intelligence would be revealed, not in the form of a desperate fight, but through the singular, deliberate action that would change the perception of humanity forever. The humans were ready. They had waited. And they had one simple tool, far more powerful than weapons or fleets, ready to reshape the galaxy's understanding of their species. It was a calm unlike any other, the quiet before a revolution so absolute that it would leave entire civilizations reeling, fleets paralyzed, and councils speechless. Earth had been targeted for extinction, and yet every calculation of the galaxy overlooked the one thing that truly mattered: humanity had always been ready. As the alien armadas drew closer to the Sol system, their sensors scoured the void for any sign of resistance. Tactical displays lit the corridors of warships, showing Earth as a solitary blue dot, fragile and easily eradicated. Each fleet commander, confident in the overwhelming superiority of their vessels, reviewed engagement protocols with a sense of theatrical finality, imagining the headlines that would echo through their civilizations once humanity was nothing more than cosmic dust. The alien crews were unaware of the complexity hidden behind that calm surface, the decades of quiet preparation, and the intricate intelligence network that connected every human outpost, station, and vessel across the system. On Earth, scientists and military strategists worked in synchronized precision. Satellite networks, previously thought to be simple communications arrays, transmitted encrypted data that no alien technology could intercept. These satellites were not just passive observers. They were nodes in a planetary defense grid, capable of altering gravitational fields, deploying energy shielding, and guiding strategic assets with near-perfect timing. Command centers hummed with quiet efficiency, a stark contrast to the brash confidence of the incoming fleets. Human operators monitored alien movements, not with panic, but with the calm clarity of those who had foreseen this day. Their models predicted every maneuver the armadas would make, every formation they would assume, and every possible contingency the aliens might attempt. On orbital platforms surrounding Earth, massive warships remained in stasis, their positions deliberately concealed behind fields that masked mass, radiation signatures, and engine activity. These were not merely defensive measures, they were strategic chess pieces, placed precisely to exploit any misstep by the overconfident invaders. Far from being a naive species, humans had spent decades reverse engineering alien probes, translating their technology into systems that exceeded the capabilities of the very civilizations that now intended to destroy them. Hidden weapons platforms, cloaked fleets, and orbital batteries waited silently, ready to respond not with blind aggression, but with calculated efficiency. Humanity had learned the value of intelligence and patience. Meanwhile, alien fleets communicated with hubris, issuing demands and ultimatums that were ignored by Earth's automated response systems. Their messages, filled with threats and declarations of inevitable conquest, passed through the interstellar void only to be met with silence. The humans were not responding because they did not need to. Their preparation was already in motion. On the alien flagship, Council members debated the timing of the attack, unaware that every discussion, every argument was already anticipated. They could not grasp the subtle precision of human planning, the layers of redundancy and foresight embedded in every system. Humanity's calm was not ignorance, it was mastery. Even the psychological warfare tactics designed to instill fear had been predicted. Algorithms calculated the expected alien reactions, preparing the humans to counter with measured, almost surgical precision. At the planetary surface, the ordinary citizens of Earth went about their lives, oblivious to the storm that loomed above. Schools, cities, oceans, and forests remained undisturbed, yet beneath the surface, an intricate web of preparation stretched across continents and into space. Every individual, every AI, every automated defense platform was synchronized with the human command network, ready to respond instantaneously. And then, in the critical moments before the alien fleets were within striking distance, Earth did something unprecedented. A single transmission, a message crafted with precision, integrity, and authority, was sent across every known and unknown channel in the galaxy. It was simple yet absolute, leaving no ambiguity. Humanity had been aware of the approaching threat, and humanity was ready. The effect was immediate. Alien sensors that had been calibrated to detect engines, shields, and weapon signatures now detected something they could not interpret: calm, control, and preparation on a scale that defied comprehension. Ships froze mid-course as their crews attempted to reconcile the intelligence they were receiving with their prior assumptions. Every fleet commander felt the weight of uncertainty, the unnerving realization that every prediction, every tactical advantage, every assumption they had made about humanity was wrong. Within minutes, the first reports reached alien high commands. Earth's defenses were not only active but fully operational, surpassing even the most generous estimates of human capability. Fleets that had approached with arrogance now hovered in indecision. Engines ready but restrained, weapons charged but untested. And still, humanity remained silent, waiting for no one, needing no one. Their power asserted not through destruction, but through the demonstration of mastery, coordination, and intelligence. The galaxy watched as the single message echoed through subspace, reaching every corner and resonating in the minds of every species involved. Earth had not been caught unprepared, and the humans had no intention of negotiating from weakness. The weight of that calm certainty, the undeniable proof of capability, forced even the most belligerent empires to reconsider. Strategies that once seemed sound now appeared naive. Plans of annihilation now seemed suicidal. In that moment, it was not weapons that spoke, not fleets that maneuvered, but a single, deliberate message, the voice of a species that had waited, watched, and calculated every possible outcome. And as alien commanders struggled to respond, every system in the galaxy began to understand the truth. Humanity could not be underestimated, and the consequences of doing so would be catastrophic. The stage was set, the players positioned, and the message had been sent. Earth had revealed only a fraction of its true potential, yet it was enough. The threat of extermination, once looming, was now met with silence from Earth. But that silence carried a weight that would shape the galaxy for generations to come. The alien armadas remained suspended in space, their formations rigid, their engines humming with latent power, and their crews trembling in disbelief. Across thousands of kilometers of starship corridors, the once proud officers were haunted by an unprecedented reality. Humanity had not only anticipated their every move, but had anticipated that anticipation itself. Sensors and tactical arrays buzzed with anomalous readings. Fields of energy, cloaked signatures, and long-range weapons that no alien mind could fully comprehend. The humans had engineered defenses that defied conventional physics, systems that could project force, shield entire fleets, and manipulate gravitational fields with pinpoint precision. Within the heart of Earth's command centers, humans monitored the alien hesitation. There was no panic, no rush, no overreaction. Only measured observation, analytical modeling, and the quiet satisfaction of long-prepared strategy unflawlessly. Across the galaxy, intelligence analysts, diplomats, and war councils scrambled to interpret the implications of the singular message that had been sent. Communications channels blared with confusion, arguments erupted over protocol, and yet all attempts to decipher the magnitude of human readiness fell short. Every fleet that had approached the Sol system assumed superiority. Now, every assumption had been invalidated. The humans had turned patience into power, and their patience had arrived precisely at the moment the galaxy expected weakness. On board the alien command vessels, officers attempted to regain control, to assert dominance, but the overwhelming certainty of human planning left them paralyzed. Orders that would have been executed instantly were delayed by hesitation, a rare emotion in species bred for efficiency and conquest. And it was in this hesitation that Earth's advantage became absolute. For centuries, humanity had cultivated not just technology, but philosophy, a deep understanding that the most powerful weapon was often not destruction, but demonstration of foresight, intelligence, and unshakable calm. Across the Sol system, orbital platforms activated silently. Massive energy grids shifted subtly, drawing power from planetary cores and solar collectors, unseen yet unmissable in their effect. Ships emerged from stasis bays with engines cloaked, weapon systems concealed, and shields calibrated to a level the armadas could not have predicted. Each movement was deliberate, each deployment precise, and each maneuver executed in near-perfect coordination with terrestrial command algorithms that accounted for every known alien tactic. Humans had anticipated panic, hesitation, overconfidence, and arrogance, the traits every alien species possessed in abundance. And they exploited them with precision, crafting scenarios where hesitation itself became a tactical advantage. In communication rooms, analysts cross-referenced decades of alien behavior, predicting reactions to every conceivable human action. The humans had not only prepared for attack, they had prepared for the perception of attack, orchestrating the entire encounter as if it were a game of cosmic chess, and they held all the pieces. Meanwhile, alien fleets struggled to maintain cohesion. Their warships, built for combat, stood still as their crews recalibrated, recalculated, and reconsidered every assumption. The galaxy watched in real time as the pride of empires faltered, unable to comprehend a species so meticulously prepared, so impossibly patient, and so unyielding in calm certainty. Humanity did not respond with fire, they responded with presence, demonstrating readiness in ways that left the armadas confused and disoriented. Every observation point, every probe, every sensor the aliens deployed returned evidence of calm, control, and overwhelming capability. The humans had drawn a line in space, and in that line they communicated a simple truth. Earth was no longer negotiable, no longer vulnerable, and no longer to be dismissed. As the alien high commands debated, Earth's planetary systems aligned seamlessly with orbiting fleets. Defensive satellites recalibrated, energy shields rose incrementally, and cloaked weapons platforms assumed positions that no alien intelligence could predict. Every element was prepared to respond to the slightest provocation, yet none was needed. The message had already been received. Across subspace and communication relays, the single transmission sent earlier pulsed like a beacon, a warning both subtle and absolute.
Every fleet, every council, every commander now understood. Any attack would not meet resistance. It would meet the full weight of a species that had waited, studied, and mastered preparation over centuries. And then the first ripple of comprehension spread. Humanity was not merely defending, they were asserting dominance without aggression. The very act of readiness, the mere orchestration of strategy, had altered the course of interstellar diplomacy and military expectation. The Sol system became a point of silence, a fulcrum where arrogance met foresight. Alien fleets had expected a fragile planet, a species to be destroyed with ease. They had not expected precision, patience, or power. The first cracks in their confidence widened, uncertainty multiplying as human systems subtly, silently demonstrated their true capability. And as they watched, fleets paralyzed by doubt, the galaxy began to realize that the war that was meant to annihilate Earth had already been lost, not through battle, but through the singular, deliberate, and masterful assertion of humanity's preparedness. In this moment, history shifted. The perception of human weakness was destroyed, replaced by a clear, undeniable fact. Earth had been ready all along, and no fleet, council, or empire could challenge the consequences of underestimating a species that had mastered patience, strategy, and the power of a single message. The alien commanders frantically tried to reconcile what they were witnessing. Their war doctrines, tested across countless star systems, failed to account for a species that had mastered not only technology, but anticipation itself. Every strategy they conceived, every formation they devised, was already anticipated, countered, or rendered irrelevant. In the silence of space, the Armada's communication channels crackled with confusion, fear, and disbelief. Officers argued over every possible maneuver, their voices tinged with panic and incredulity. They could not understand why humanity did not strike, why Earth's forces remained poised yet patient, why the humans refused to react until the precise moment all advantages aligned. Humanity's restraint was a weapon, sharper than any railgun, faster than any interceptor, more precise than the deadliest tactical algorithm in the galaxy. Earth's fleets, though unseen, were everywhere and nowhere. Their deployment patterns calculated to intimidate without provoking, to demonstrate power without initiating conflict. Humans had built this silent web of influence across the Sol system and into neighboring sectors, ensuring that any hostile movement would trigger immediate, overwhelming response. Alien fleets began to fracture under the weight of their own indecision. Ships that once operated as singular, confident units now hesitated, unsure of which command to follow. The very sight of a human tactical formation, or sometimes even the anticipation of one, was enough to stop entire squadrons in their tracks. Officers on alien vessels watched as humans synchronized planetary defenses, orbital grids, and hidden strike forces with a level of precision that seemed almost supernatural. Every conceivable weakness had been accounted for, every potential vulnerability fortified, and every possible provocation already simulated and countered. And still, humanity did not attack. Instead, they continued to communicate through presence, through subtle movements, calibrated energy signatures, and the silent orchestration of assets that no alien sensors could fully comprehend. Even the most seasoned alien tacticians began to grasp the immensity of human foresight. The humans had prepared for this moment not with brute force, but with strategy so complete, so overwhelming, that even the bravest alien commanders could not ignore it. Across the galaxy, intelligence feeds from allied and neutral species began to reflect a singular truth. Earth was no ordinary planet, and humanity was no ordinary species. Fleet commanders whispered to one another, their words tinged with awe and terror. Every simulation they ran failed. Every tactical model shattered under the weight of human ingenuity. For the first time in recorded galactic history, a species had faced the full measure of human calculation and restraint, and every conceivable outcome favored the humans. As hours passed, the Armada's uncertainty grew into dread. Alien officers scanned for hidden weapons, cloaked platforms, and unseen fleets, but every scan returned only more questions.
How could a species maintain such control across so many systems? How could they anticipate every possible maneuver before it was even conceived? Humanity's silence became a statement, their inaction a thunderclap that echoed across the void. In the vastness of space, the Sol system stood as a testament to patience, intelligence, and unyielding readiness. Then, as if to reinforce the lesson already delivered, humanity transmitted again, a series of coordinates, a declaration, and a single unambiguous message. Any aggression would meet total and immediate response. It was concise, factual, and undeniable. The galaxy watched as alien councils convened, as fleets debated, and as the first cracks of mutiny and indecision appeared among seasoned commanders. Humans had not yet fired a single shot, yet they had already rewritten the rules of engagement, of strategy, and of interstellar politics. The alien species that once believed themselves invincible began to see the terrifying reality. Their power was meaningless against the foresight, coordination, and absolute certainty of a species that had spent centuries preparing for every possible contingency. Across the system, human defense grids shimmered with barely perceptible energy flows, their cloaking fields and sensor arrays projecting a sense of omnipresence. Planetary orbital platforms adjusted silently, calculating gravitational vectors and energy outputs with machine precision, ready to respond instantaneously to any hostile act. Every element of Earth's system spoke a singular message. Humanity was ready, and humanity would not be ignored. Officers aboard alien vessels no longer debated tactics, they debated survival. Even the most arrogant commanders understood that a misstep, a single act of aggression, could result in the complete annihilation of their forces. The human message had done more than warn. It had demonstrated the consequences of miscalculation without lifting a finger. Across the galaxy, whispers spread among observers, diplomats, and mercenaries alike. Humanity was no longer a fledgling species confined to a single planet. They were a force of unprecedented strategic mastery, one whose patience equaled its power and whose resolve was absolute. Alien fleets, once poised for conquest, now lingered in hesitation, paralyzed by the realization that every calculation, every plan, every preconception about humanity had been disastrously wrong. In this tense stillness, Earth's true victory was revealed, not in firepower or conquest, but in the unassailable certainty of preparation, foresight, and calculated patience. Humanity had turned a potential extermination into an absolute statement of dominance, and the galaxy had no choice but to acknowledge it. The galaxy held its breath. Across countless star systems, fleets that had once moved with confidence now drifted in indecision, their crews unable to comprehend the scale of human foresight. Alien command centers echoed with tension. Officers muttered frantic calculations, trying to predict humanity's next move. But every model, every simulation collapsed under the weight of reality. The humans had not yet acted with force, yet the sheer certainty of their preparation communicated a power that no alien species had ever witnessed. In the Sol system, humanity's command network operated with clockwork precision. Every orbital platform, every interstellar ship, every hidden defense array adjusted its energy outputs, gravitational shields, and sensor sweeps in anticipation of a single, unspoken contingency, the moment the aliens dared to act. And when that moment arrived,
It was nothing like the invaders expected. Across the vacuum of space, alien vessels experienced a cascade of electromagnetic interference. Their communications faltered, navigation grids became erratic, and targeting systems failed catastrophically. Not a single human ship had engaged yet. These were defensive measures, carefully calculated to incapacitate, to demonstrate control, to show that any offensive action would be met with absolute inevitability. Panic rippled through the alien ranks. Ships that had once pursued humans through countless systems now hesitated in orbit, their crews aware that every approach, every maneuver had been predicted, countered, and nullified. Commanders screamed orders, but hesitation had already taken root, and doubt spread faster than any human strike could. Then the humans transmitted once more. Across encrypted interstellar channels, every species listening to the Sol system received the message. It was not a threat. It was a fact. Any aggression against Earth will be met with total annihilation. This is not a warning. It is a certainty. The calm, factual tone left no room for interpretation. Even the most arrogant alien admirals felt their stomachs tighten as the words sank in. The Sol system seemed to radiate confidence itself, a quiet, unshakable presence that no alien sensors could misinterpret. The message had done what no weapon ever could. It had shifted the balance of power through pure clarity, through absolute demonstration of preparation, strategy, and capability. Across the galaxy, intelligence feeds buzzed with chaos. Mercenaries, diplomats, spies, all watched as fleets that once dominated star lanes faltered. Every system that had once considered attacking Earth, colonizing its neighbors, or testing human response now reconsidered. Humanity's patience, their control of the battlefield without firing a shot, had rewritten interstellar law. The alien admirals attempted one final desperate measure to coordinate a massive, unified strike. They hoped that overwhelming numbers could force a breach, could shatter the humans' careful defenses. But they underestimated not only human calculation, but human perception. Every ship, every orbital battery, every hidden fleet element had already positioned to counter this assault. As the alien armada advanced, the Sol system activated the full scale of its silent arsenal. Electromagnetic pulses disabled engines before they could reach critical speeds. Targeting computers were scrambled. Cloaked human fleets emerged simultaneously across multiple vectors, their positions anticipated, their weapons ready, their movements flawless. Within minutes, the alien fleets found themselves surrounded, neutralized, and utterly incapable of executing their attack. There was no chaos, no panic within the human command. The operation proceeded with perfect timing, demonstrating not only firepower, but precision, control, and absolute dominance. The surviving alien commanders radioed for parley, for negotiation, for anything that might prevent total annihilation. Humanity responded with calm, precise instructions. Withdraw, acknowledge the Sol system as sovereign, and never attempt aggression again. Across the galaxy, observers watched in awe. The humans had accomplished what no other species could. They had turned a threat of extermination into a demonstration of absolute, unchallengeable supremacy without once initiating violence. And yet, the message was clear. The moment aggression was attempted, the response would be total and instantaneous. As the alien fleets retreated, their own populations now aware of the near catastrophe they had narrowly avoided, the galaxy began to grasp a fundamental truth. Humanity did not merely survive threats, they predicted them, neutralized them, and rewrote the rules of engagement entirely. For centuries, civilizations would recount this event, studying the Sol system's defense networks, human strategy, and the unwavering calm with which the message was delivered. It was a legend in real time, a display of intellect,
patience, and absolute mastery. Humanity had demonstrated that even when faced with annihilation, their response was not panic or fury. It was calculation, preparedness, and the quiet assurance that they would prevail. The galaxy had been warned, not with fire, not with destruction, but with clarity, precision, and inevitability.
And in that moment, every species learned a lesson that would echo across the stars for millennia. Humanity cannot be underestimated, ignored, or coerced. The Sol System's lights glimmered in silent triumph, a beacon of human resolve, and for the first time, the universe truly understood what it meant to face Earth, and find that the one message humanity sent was more powerful than any weapon they had ever known.